Penguin Random House Audio presents The Essential Oils Apothecary, Advanced Strategies and Protocols for Chronic Disease and Conditions, by Eric Zielinski, D.C., and Sabrina Ann Zielinski. Read for you by Mark Deakins. Note to listener, this audiobook includes a downloadable PDF which contains useful charts and all the essential oil blend recipes from the printed book. Esther, Isaiah, Elijah, Isabella, and Ezekiel, we love you with all our hearts. Our challenge to you and the next generation is to pick up the baton and carry the message of biblical health and natural healing to new heights. May this book be a tool to help you accomplish this. Love, Daddy and Mommy. Natural Living family, thank you. COVID-19 challenged our online community in more ways than we could have ever imagined. Yet it brought us closer together. We are so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. As always, our hope and prayer are that you and your family experience the abundant life. Love, Dr. Z and Mama Z. Preface. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. African proverb. Unless someone is a medical professional, there are surprisingly few health books devoted to chronic disease management, and even fewer discussing how to use natural therapies. This remains a paradox to us because more than 60% of the American population, nearly 200 million people, are affected by at least one chronic illness, and more than 40% have two or more, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Even more shocking, there were 0 books devoted to the topic of using essential oils to prevent and/or treat chronic disease at the time we wrote this book. That's right. You heard it correctly. 0. There is obviously a gap here, and the book you now hold in your hands is our attempt at filling it. Our prayers are with you. Hi, my name is Dr. Eric Zielinski, and people online know me as Dr. Z. With my wife Sabrina, aka Mama Z, at my side, we are thrilled to present to you our latest installment of books devoted to learning how to use essential oils to experience the abundant life. Before we begin, I'd like to offer my sincere and humble recognition that cancer, depression, obesity, and the other chronic conditions mentioned in this book can be absolutely devastating. I am personally acquainted with several of them, having suffered not only from depression, panic attacks, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts in my late teens and early 20s, but alcohol and substance abuse as well. First and foremost, know that Mama Z and I are praying for you. In addition, there are thousands of people across the globe who have joined us through our private groups and fan pages in an effort to support those battling chronic disease. Second, there's hope. I am living proof that someone can overcome debilitating chronic disease, including mental health issues. I credit my healing experience to my faith in Christ, because it wasn't until I became a Christian that I was able to get sober and experience the fullness of joy and happiness. Today, 18 years later, I can confidently boast in the Lord that I am still free. Sabrina has her own healing story of how God delivered her from an eating disorder and freed her from 10 prescription drugs in her mid-20s. So trust me when I say that we truly empathize with people who suffer from chronic health issues. Third, Mama Z and I wholeheartedly believe that it is our God-given right to enjoy the abundant life that Christ refers to in John chapter 10, verse 10, the fullest expression of health in all areas of your life: spiritual, physical, emotional, financial, occupational, social, and, of course, mental. However, Christ's promise of the abundant life is like a winning lottery ticket, and many people neglect to cash it in. We invite you to join us to claim this right and enjoy a glorious mental health in all of its joyful abundance. Fourth, speaking of joy, the Bible tells us, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 10. At the core of our very existence is how we feel, and these feelings are intricately tied into our day-to-day existence and how well we adapt to the never-ending stressors of life. To be unhealthy or unwell emotionally, mentally, or physically is to be vulnerable at the deepest level of your humanity. This puts you at risk of developing further problems with your health, finances, and relationships, on your job, and in your spiritual life. Remember, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and all areas of your life are interconnected. To be strong, on the other hand, is necessitated by joy, as described by Nehemiah, which is arguably the most powerful, invigorating feeling one can have. Joy will fuel and empower you through all obstacles, and it's vital to overcome chronic disease. Last, but certainly not least, it's okay and oftentimes necessary to get help. If you suffer from chronic disease of any sort, we highly encourage you to seek support from a qualified professional if it's impacting your mental well-being. We have found that, as well-intentioned as our loved ones may be, they are oftentimes unable to help us through those rough times, and having someone stable in your life to act as an anchor can make all the difference in the world. We love you, are rooting for you, and hope this book provides the answers that you're looking for. Dr. Z. Introduction. When the solution is simple, God is answering. Albert Einstein. On April 15, 2020, when most of America and the world were under shelter-in-place orders due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Roger Schwelt, MD, posted his Coronavirus Pandemic Update 56, What is Forest Bathing and Can It Boost Immunity Against Viruses? On YouTube. It was a fascinating presentation that introduced the concept of forest bathing, the ancient Japanese practice of simply being in nature, to people in Western civilization. Shinrin-yoku, Shinrin meaning forest and yoku meaning bath in Japanese, refers to immersing yourself in the forest atmosphere and enjoying nature. Not to be confused with hiking or any sort of exercise, the key to Shinrin-yoku is to connect with nature through your five senses. Considered a bridge between the human experience and the natural world, forest bathing exposes us to volatile organic compounds, VOCs, that are being released into the air by the surrounding trees and plants. VOCs, of course, are the active chemical components emitted by plants and flowers that give them their distinct aroma. They are also more commonly referred to as essential oils. As shown in multiple clinical trials, the naturally occurring VOCs in nature have a profound, measurable effect on enhancing immune function by increasing the quantity and activity of natural killer cells, NK cells, among other health benefits. As white blood cells that support immune function, NK cells are a component of the first line of defense against tumors, inflammation, and viral infections. Essentially, being out in nature is synonymous to wearing a personal aromatherapy inhaler or diffuser necklace. This was Dr. Schwelt's point. If people really wanted to boost their immune function, they'd get outdoors and forest bathe. As you may have guessed, when they evaluated how study participants fared indoors with aromatherapy diffusers running, they found an effect similar to being out in nature. We can then quite literally bring the outside in with essential oils and obtain the same beneficial constituents that trees and plants release during forest bathing. And in doing so, we reap their powerful benefits, uplifting our mood, calming the nervous system, treating illnesses, and strengthening the immune system. Essential oils in health and healing. Essential oils have been used since ancient times as natural remedies to enhance health and well-being. In recent years, an increased emphasis on holistic healing has led to a resurgence in the traditional use of essential oils for restoring health, treating diseases and their symptoms, and protecting us against illness. The practice of using essential oils has now established itself as a viable healthcare alternative and complement to conventional medicine. In fact, a recent study of integrative medicine practitioners uncovered that 96.8% of clinicians surveyed recommend using essential oils to their patients. Since the mid-1990s, Thousands of research studies have been conducted, and science has finally caught up.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?